this is why when we start about compromising the truth is this has all our answers. We might not like it, and we might struggle to figure some of that out, but this is where we build our foundation. Jesus basically says this: you're either with me or against me. You're the foolish man that builds his house on the sand, right? And when we think about sand, this is what our culture is doing. If you took the rock of truth and you just started kind of breaking it down and shaving it down, it becomes sand. So they take partial truths to build their worldview. And Jesus says, you got to build it on the rock. Another interesting thing that Jesus talks about rock, we always look at him as a carpenter. In the Greek word is a stonemason. Jesus probably did some work with stones. And he talks about, I'm going to build a church on my rock and this. So I thought that was interesting, but I don't know. There's a love for God's word in what happened for me, how the word became just alive in my life. Yeah. Is that it became the authority. Are we going on 2 shows now?
I don't know, man.
I'm ready.
We need to have a part 2 because you just said something, and you're like making me go to my phone here because even though my screen behind me turned off but nobody cares who I am anyway.
The carpenter in Greek?
No, you were talking about the rock and the sand, and I was.
Yeah,
I wish I knew.
Matthew 7, right? The Sermon on the Mount. I think it's Matthew 7 there when he talks about basically your worldview. You're gonna be. I mean, we're gonna face the same things Jesus is saying. You're gonna build it on the truth, or you're gonna build it on the sand. Well, no one would build their life on foolishness. No one would say, "Okay, I'm gonna build my house on sand and know it's gonna come down." Okay, but they will bring in partial truths, and that's what they're doing.
You're blowing.
You like that?
Yes, I not only like that. You're blowing my mind here. Okay, because this is what I wanted to look up when you said that about the sand or building on the rock. Sand forms when rocks break down from weathering and eroding over many years, thousands or even millions of years. But yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so sand forms. This is just basically a Google search. So I have never put together in my mind when Jesus is talking about building on the rock or building on sand. Sand comes from the rock that he erodes and is shaved away. So basically, it's like taking truth, forming it into what you want it to be, and then building on what you want it to be. That's sand, and it's going to sink.
Yeah, and they don't realize it because they've taken enough truth and they've made it work. And so why do you think everything's crumbling down? But when we build it... Do you have a sermon? I'll come preach that.
I'm sitting here.
That preaches.
Yes, I'm sitting here and I'm going. Listen, folks. That's good. I mean, why have I never connected that in my mind before?